Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kay, and today I'm here to announce that I will be participating in Space Opera September, so I'm going to be bringing you my TBR for that. So Space Opera September is a readathon that is being hosted by Thomas over at SFF 180. I will link his video announcement for that and the Goodreads group for that down below in the description. Basically what it is a challenge to kind of read space operas, obviously, during the month of September. And there are 4 kind of levels that you can level up. There are 6 challenges, and if you complete various things at the end of the month, you email them and you can get back a certificate with all of your accomplishments on it. You start out as a space cadet and can level all the way up to, I believe, like a fleet admiral, or if you decide to, you can complete one of the challenges that will split you down onto the rebel track, in which case you can become a space pirate. That is the track that I am aiming for, so hopefully I'll get it. It shouldn't be too terribly difficult. He has gone out of his way to kind of make it accessible to everybody and make it a doable readathon where you can succeed and get all the way to the end. And it seems like he's put a ton of work into it. The announcement video is gorgeous. There's a lot of like CGI animation work that he had done, and it looks really nice, super slick. I'm looking forward to doing it because it kind of works itself right in with one of my goals for 2019, which was to read more sci-fi, and I haven't done a super great job of that yet this year, so this works out wonderfully because it kind of gives me a little boost right towards the end of the year to get those numbers up. Hopefully I can find some new favorite books or series to fit in on my shelves and to continue reading. So without further ado, the TBR. I do not have all of the books in from the library, and there's one that I'm not sure if I'm going to get or not because I had to have them order it, as we did not have it in any of the libraries that are connected to the consortium that my library is a part of. But if I can't get it, it's still fine because I can sub one of the other books that I'm already going to be reading in for that one anyway, so it's not a huge deal. But let's get started. So, challenge 1 is to read a space opera novella. For that, I will be reading Killing Gravity by Corey J. White. This book was not on my TBR prior to this readathon, so I'm not super clear on what it's about, but I do know that there's some sort of like sinister corporation or government entity or some such thing that had this young woman, maybe as a child, not clear, turned her into what they call a void witch. So she's got kind of scary abilities now, super powerful, whatever. She escapes in some sort of coup, according to the summary on the back. She escapes them, is kind of on the run, has been then for her whole life, and then has a run-in with a bounty hunter, which means somebody has betrayed her, and now she is out to find out who betrayed her and kind of the truth of her past. Sounds interesting. It is a Tor.com novella. I read quite a few of those, and I do tend to enjoy novellas, so I have, moderate to high-ish hopes for this. It'll be a quick read, so should be fine. Challenge 2A is to read 2 books by women. So the first one that I have for this challenge is Grimspace by Ann Aguirre. This, from kind of my assumptions on it, it seems to be like urban fantasy, except that it's a space opera. So your main character is Samantha Jax, your typical kind of badass female main character, is able to jump ships through Grimspace, which I'm assuming is some sort of like hyperspace, super speedy way of getting around, because it is a highly desirable genetic trait, so jumpers are not exceedingly common. There's some sort of problem though, and one of the ships that she is piloting crashes. She's accused of killing everyone on board, but she has no memory of this crash, so she doesn't even know what happened. She's being held, probably tortured. She's broken out by a small group of rebels who are trying to overthrow this corporation, and they're enlisting her help in exchange for breaking her out of this prison. I don't have super high hopes for it. I'm kind of just hoping it will be a good time. I'm not going to get myself all worked up over it. Like I said, I'm pretty sure it's kind of an urban fantasy type of book, and I don't tend to love those, but it has been on my TBR for quite some time, so I want to kind of get it off of there, see what it's all about. It is part of a series, so if I do by some miracle end up really enjoying it, I can always continue on with the series. but we will see. For the other book that I will be reading that was written by a woman, I'm going to be reading, hopefully, The Undefeated by Una McCormick. This is the book that I'm waiting to see if my library will get in time. It's not showing up on my holds list yet, so I'm not sure what the status is on it. All I know about it is that I believe it's a novella, and it is about a woman who is a former retired journalist. She is traveling back to her home world due to some oncoming apocalyptic event, or I don't know, something really bad's about to happen, so she's going home to kind of weather the storm, I guess. Not entirely sure, but it's a novella. It'll be quick and maybe good. I don't know. We'll see. Next up is Challenge 2B, and this is how you get onto the Rebel track if that's what you want to do. And for this one, you need to read a book that is written by a diverse author and features diverse main or secondary characters. For this challenge, I'm going to be reading Big Ship at the Edge of the Universe, written by Alex White. Like some of the other books on this list, I don't know a whole lot about it. It was not on my radar prior to this readathon. I had originally had a different book in its place, then kind of read more about the synopsis and things and realized it wasn't really a space opera like I kind of originally thought, so I needed to replace it. I think I looked up kind of some lists of diverse authors and things, came across this book. So this mythological, legendary, whatever ship is found out on the edge of the universe by a washed up former like famous treasure hunter who now I believe just perpetuates like hoaxes and stuff. So that's kind of an interesting dynamic to the story. But she's come across this actual real ship that is probably worth a lot of money. She is being pursued by some sort of killer, which is how the other main character gets involved, because she has been framed by that person for the death of a fellow racer or something of that nature. I don't know. Anyway, it sounds kind of cool. There's like killers and treasure and running around and all kinds of things. I don't know. Could be interesting. The cover was cool. And it's the first in a series, so if I like it, then that kind of leads on to other books that I may also enjoy, which is what I'm always looking out for. Challenge number 3, read a book that was written before you were born. For this one, I'm going to be reading Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. My mom loves this movie. I don't think I've ever seen it. I might have seen like parts of it, not really sure. I know that it's comedic in nature, kind of out there. And I know that the main character is taken off of Earth just before Earth is destroyed to make way for some sort of like outer space highway type thing or something, and then he gets this tour of the universe and hangs out with some aliens and things. That's kind of all I know about it, but I don't know how well I'll like it. I don't tend to like comedic fiction. So we'll see. I'm going to be listening to it on audiobook. I found out that Stephen Fry narrates, and I really like Stephen Fry. He also narrates the children's show Pocoyo, which my daughter used to watch when she was younger, and I really liked Pocoyo, and he did a really nice job narrating. So, weird connection, but that kind of gives me hope for this book. And I can listen to this like at work and in the car, and then also be reading another book at the same time, and get kind of two at the same time kind of thing going on. I'm not super concerned about having enough time to read all of the books for the readathon, simply because I do tend to read so much in a month. But it'll be nice to be able to kind of knock multiple things out at the same time. And the last challenge for this readathon is to read a space opera that is 500 or more pages. Unfortunately, I have read all of the Expanse series that's out, and I've already read them, so it's, you know, I should be looking to find new books to read. And I just read Dark Age last week. So I guess if I would have been able to hold on to that and save it for September, I could have used it, but that wasn't going to happen. So I'm going to be reading Ancestral Night by Elizabeth Bear, and this would be the book that I would sub in if I'm unable to get my hands on The Undefeated in time, because it is written by a woman, so it can also qualify for 2A. But my primary purpose for this book is to read a book 500 pages or more. This has ancient, lost civilizations that they kind of come across and find technology left over. There are hints at like maybe a found family type of crew, because it is a small crew on their ship. I like kind of small crew, found family things similar to what we get in The Expanse. So that's an interesting little side note on it. There are like corrupt government types, there are pirates, lots of dashing here and there and trying to uncover hidden things in the main character's past and things that were covered up by this corrupt government. So there's a lot of secrets being unearthed. And all that sounds pretty interesting. The cover is really nice, and I'm a graphic designer, so I get drawn in pretty easily by a good cover. And that's kind of what happened here. I came across it, it's like, oh, look at that cover, read the synopsis, sounds intriguing, so I'm going to give it a go. It's also, I think, the first in maybe a planned series, so if I enjoy it, then there's more books on the horizon, also a good thing. So, win-win there. That's all the books that I'll be reading. Hopefully I will get them all done. I will complete all the challenges. I will get my own homeworld, for which I still need to think up a super cool name. So that's it for today. Thanks for sticking around. Like and subscribe down below if you want. Leave me a list of what you guys are planning on reading for this readathon if you're doing it. If not, what are some of your favorite space operas? Because I'm always looking to add more books to my TBR, and especially space operas. Those seem to kind of be perhaps my favorite type of sci-fi. I've read a few different kinds, and so far the only ones that I've really loved have been these kind of space opera type of stories. So leave a comment down below, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!